Hey guys, welcome back to my channel here today. So if you see this and if you hear a little bit of wiring sound, it's probably me just fidgeting. So hopefully I try not to fidget as much and try to just have my mic closer to my voice so that it will pick up the sounds and less like error noises. Welcome back to my channel here today, and if you can see the title, you probably know that I am a transfer student. So I transferred to Boston University during my sophomore year from Fordham University, which is based in New York City. And I wanted to just talk about why I decided to transfer. Maybe you are deciding to transfer as well, and this video may help you decide whether or not transferring is best for you or not. I want to share my experience, and I hope that it also helps you to decide whether or not you want to transfer or not. So to get started, I want to just talk about some introduction and mention some of the reason why student transfer. So I can tell you why I decided to transfer. Was in New York City freshman year in Fordham University, still studying computer science. Like Fordham, it's not like my first choice or anything. It's more like a backup, and it's like in the city, and so I wanted to be in the city. That's why I went there. I guess the main reason is like my parents also pressured me to also transfer because, you know, for Chinese parents, my mom watch my YouTube channel, so she would know. She basically was saying Fordham, it's not as good as a school comparing to other universities. So like the second round that I was trying to transfer, I only applied to like more known university like NYU, Columbia, Boston University, and so if I get into it, then I'll probably go. It's so sad that I got rejected by NYU twice, but and then throughout the second round of applying, the only school that accepted me is Boston University. So I have a choice to reject the offer, but I decided to come here just because there's more opportunity here at BU relatively to New York City. Even though the city itself, New York is definitely better, but Boston is also fine. It's like 4 hours train ride or bus ride, so if I want to go back, I can. But there is other reasons why other students transfer, like it could be because of finance, it could be opportunity space, it could just be that the program in their old school is not the right program for them. I've heard a lot of other stories about other people transfer. I've met other transfer students here as well, so transferring, it's pretty common. I kind of talked about this, but second topic that I was going to talk about is just reason of transferring. So it could be academic, it could be personal reason. If you want to be closer to family, maybe that's the reason why you transfer. It could be finance, location, career-wise. I think relatively Boston and New York, they both have pretty good career space and opportunity space. It's just whether or not you can find it or not. And then I was going to share my personal anecdote, but I've already shared it before, so I don't want to repeat it. But if you have other questions that you want to ask, you can also comment down in the comment section, so I can help answer your concern. When I was transferring, the third topic that I want to talk about is actually researching and preparation. I kind of just want to emphasize the importance of like researching about the school before you transfer, just because you want to make sure that the second time you transfer, you're transferring to the right school. I've had a few friends where they transfer, and then once they transfer, when you transfer a lot of the times, you might delay your graduation date just because you haven't met like the course requirement or you don't have enough credits to graduate. So that could be concerned that if you transfer twice, that might be a limitation for you might have to be in school for another year or half a year. When I was transferring, and I also have my IB credits, and so I'm able to graduate early by a semester. You want to identify college that complies or satisfies your goals and needs. It could be like any like financial goals or needs. And now I'll talk about transcript and just academic records. So those are pretty relevant when you want to transfer. You definitely have to send over your transcript to a new school. So for me, I requested my transcript from Fordham to send directly to the BU academic something, like student academic service or something, just so that they can get my transcript. The school has to send your academic transcript directly to the other school. You know, they know that it's verified, it's the right transcript and not being altered at all. I remember, I think I've also had one or two recommendation letter. Some school needs recommendation letter, some doesn't. So depending on the school that you want to apply to, they might require you to have a recommendation letter or even just a cover letter as well. Another thing that I want to imply, you want to have a high GPA in order for you to be able to transfer successfully. I'm not saying you shouldn't try transferring even if you have a low GPA, but when I left Fordham, I do have a 3.8 GPA for me to transfer to BU. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I got into BU is that I have maintained a pretty high GPA for my freshman year and sophomore year. And then next, I want to talk about the application process. So for a transfer student, you still go through the common app like your freshman year, but instead of choosing first year student, you want to choose transfer student. And that just means that it doesn't mean anything, honestly, but it's just showing how transfer student and freshman student has different deadlines, and so they can identify which deadline you should be submitting your application to. Usually transfer students are deadlines are later than sophomore, transfer student are later than freshman years. But you still need to write your personal statement. You still need to fill in all the personal informations, financial goals, financial needs. If you need financial aid, you have to apply for that as well. And then I want to talk about transferring credits. So like me, I am able to transfer some of my credits from Fordham to Boston University. Some can't, but they don't necessarily will satisfies any of your academic requirements, but some does, some doesn't. But it's all depending on your transcript. So once you send their transcript, they would cross-reference the classes to see if it's qualified as a requirement for a major, as well as the IB credits. I also have to send in my IB transcript to them so that they can add those credits to my academic records. And I remember back then I was confused on so I've taken CS1 and CS2 at Fordham, but then my CS2 requirement for BU was not satisfied, so I was confused. I reached out to the academic records and I'm like, why is this not fulfilled? And then they basically tell me the requirements and the curriculum is not the same, and so I have to retake it at BU. And so if you have any confusion or anything, questions like that, you should definitely reach out to your academic records, and so that they could help clarify. Sometimes they would miss some of the requirements, but then if you email them, they will take a second look, and then you might be able to get those credits back, or you have to retake it like me. And then I want to talk about just some of the support service that you might have as a transfer student. I remember back when I transferred, there's definitely a transfer student groups somewhere on campus, and there's also campus visit. You can go on tours around campus to get to know where the buildings are and whatnot. And then I'm sure your school also have academic advising, career advising. Those are really good resources for you to get settled in a new city and new university as well. This is just so that you can have a smoother transition. I know that there's also other social media groups that you can find, on Instagram, on Facebook. There's definitely groups on class of 2024, class of 2023, things like that you can join, and then you can meet people through there as well. And then I'll talk about just timeline in general. I remember when I was trying to transfer, I started my personal statement in the fall semester, and I think I submitted it somewhere in the spring semester, but I don't really remember when I actually submitted. Earlier or at the end of the year, and then I got my acceptance by probably March or June. I think July is the latest, but definitely between March and June I got my acceptance for BU. And then sometimes enrollment could be a little confusing because you're new and then you're I don't know what to do, I don't know what classes to take. But once you accept your offer, they will give you academic advising, and they will probably enroll your first semester lessons for you just to get you started, and then after that you can start applying it or enrolling it by yourself. And then next section, I just want to talk about some of the challenges and how you can cope with it. I want to acknowledge that transferring, it's a hard process. It's very challenging. It's you going into a new city, you don't have any friends, and it's freshman year all over again. But trust me that you get through it, and it's not. Eventually you get through it, and then you find more friends through classes. I found all my friends literally through office hour. I also found some of my friends doing work. Sometimes on campus work is also a really good place to just find friends. One advice that I really give is to just try to step out of your comfort zone. You're in a new city. go explore the city, go find friends to explore the city. That's like one thing that people would like to do, is just to go around. And that's also one way you can find friends, is to just, instead of like staying at home, you go out, do something, go rock climbing, go row a boat or something, and that could help you bond with your friends. And then your friends can introduce you to their friends, and then that kind of like pile up with more friends, and you meet more people, interact with more people, and that just helps. That is all the topics that I wanted to include in this video. Let me know if you have any other questions about transferring to schools that you have in the comment section, and I can help answer. But other than that, thank you guys for staying along and stay tuned. Thank you guys for staying along in this video, and I hope this video helps you decide whether or not you want to transfer or not. But other than that, this is the end. If you want to stay tuned for more of my video, remember to subscribe and click the bell button so you get a notification whenever I post. And other than that, this is a wrap, and I'll see you guys next time I post. Bye!